Actually, up and down. Yeah, up and down is a good. Well, we are just discussing the new prosperity here in the Arab region. But the question is, will this prosperity ever reach also the Palestine region? It's a very difficult question in the moment because the situation is not easy after the elections, after Hamas has won the election. How far is the Western world, is Israel and even Egypt, prepared to go in really starving Hamas from power?
Well, the situation is quite complicated, as you said, of course. On one hand, we have, of course, 3 million Palestinian people living today in a very, very difficult conditions. And I don't think anybody in the Middle East, all the Arab countries are feeling that this is not a situation that we could sustain and accept. Because we have all the Arabs in the Palestinian territory now deprived from all their means. Even the taxes they pay, even the money that they collect from them, they are not giving the money to be able to spend. On the other hand, of course, we have a political system that came out of a free election. And of course, the United States, the West is having a certain view about it, and the Israelis, of course. And it's just simply getting more complicated because, on one hand, we spoke about democracy. We have an outcome of democracy. On the other hand, we say, fine, if people have elected a government, we would like to make sure, that they understand that this was a wrong decision. This is, again, within our reform system in the Middle East, it's making it even more, in a much more difficult situation, how to explain the way forward in opening up our political system.
Mr. Cohen.
I think we should make it clear, we're not talking about starving people. Nobody wants people to starve, and we're not going to have that happen. The United States has made money available for humanitarian purposes, and even some of these...
Ahmed just pointed out how difficult the situation for a lot of simple people is.
It's very difficult, and we don't want that to happen. Even some of the tax money that's being withheld by the Israelis has now been released for those humanitarian purposes, going to hospitals, for example. They're going to make payments directly to the hospitals. I certainly agree with the Minister Rachid that it is complicated. For us in the United States, we have a law that simply says we can't do business with a government that is labeled a terrorist government. And this Hamas has been labeled terrorist because they do not recognize the right of Israel to exist, and they have, of course, continued to say that they believe Israel should be eliminated. Now, if they can agree to what Abu Mazen has said, which is the right of Israel to exist, the two-Palestinian state, agreeing to the two states in the region, and agreeing to abide by the conditions that have been set or the agreements that have been made before, you could have a different outcome. But I think right now what our goal is to try to see that we can strengthen, not Hamas, but strengthen Abu Mazen, President Abbas, as much as possible, and to try to build an alternative to Hamas. A lot of people don't realize that Hamas did not receive the majority of votes. Actually, Abbas received, and his party received about 62% of the vote. It was the way the election was structured that ended up giving the parliamentary majority to Hamas.
It's a question of what Congressman Colby just said, that there are a little bit of difficulties for the United States. For Europe, it's the same problem, to give money in this situation. Would you say the Arab states should do more for the Palestinians in the moment?
I think they are doing. They've never stopped doing, and I think they'll keep on doing. And for humanitarian, they're brothers, and they'll keep on doing.
But if they do so, why is it that there were voices coming out this week, like the voice of Mr. Olmert from Israel, that they say the situation is so difficult for the Palestinians that they are nearly starving, some of them, that there is a difficult medical situation and so on and so on.
If they can't get the medicine and they can't get the fruits from Jordan and everything is blocked, of course they're going to have problems.
So should the Arab neighbors do more?
Yes, but how are they going to get the help to the Palestinians if the frontiers are closed? How could they possibly go through?
But the question is, do you think they can really ever stand on their, economically speaking, on their own feet?
No, I don't think so.
Be self-reliant on that?
No, but I would like also to comment on what has been said, that this economic strangulation of the Palestinian Hamas is not going to make them more modern and modest
yeah.
and
Yeah.
moderation. I think it's going to cause friction between Fatah and Hamas, and it's going to cause maybe a war between the two factions, and then you will lose the whole
create
the whole
more- it will
situation is going to
create
create chaos.
It will create
It will
more.
create more terror. I mean, you are asking whether
Yes.
they could stand on their own feet economically. Do you know that in Gaza, and I've been there, they are feeding flowers to the cows. The flowers that they have now for export, for the last 2 months, they're just feeding them to the cows because the people who have invested all their money and life in creating farms to export, they are not able to export anything. And we have been trying to help them through the Egyptian border here, and it's not working. Simply, I spent, many days trying to sort out, how we can move goods from the Gaza region into Egypt to export it to Europe. And we have not been able to do it because all the complexity that the Israelis don't want to deal with the Hamas government, and both of them don't want to talk to each other. And I understand everybody has different view, but the reality of life today, that you have people who are suffering, and everything that they have is being destroyed. All the fundamental of what they have been building have been destroyed.
I'm sorry, I
So-
forgot, Your Excellency, that you are quite involved. My apologies.
No.
So it's just one word, but you're not thinking that Hamas is getting this way of democratization
No,
in this region. There's no backslash from that.
There's no evidence that Hamas has changed its tune at all. President Abbas says so.
But you're still a fan of democratization in this
Absolutely,
area.
absolutely, and I think it's
Hamas
working. And
or not
There's
Hamas.
going to be setbacks, but I
Okay.
think it's going to work, yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Sheikh Hussein, gentlemen, thank you very much for this interesting view on the Arab region and on the Middle East Forum here in Sharm el-Sheikh. Thank you very much for your interest this week, and see you next time on Global Players. Thank you.